Sparks!
Ewan, hello!
How are we doing?
Excellent. Happy Friday. So happy to see your face.
Oh, I'm always happy to see your face, Cassandra.
Likewise.
How's your week been? What have you been up to? Tell us everything. What exciting things have you been doing in your sparky world?
What has happened this week? It's been a bit of a blur in a good way.
Yeah.
Working on some Dale Carnegie work and some Cassandra Sparks work. Just a little dabble in all the pools. How about you?
A little bit of this, a little bit of that. You know, nothing huge, just rebranding my company, surviving as a business owner, just rebranding my company, you know, the usual. What you get up to on a Wednesday? Just your typical Tuesday this has been.
Just a typical week for an entrepreneur.
Right.
I know. I'm so excited for you to tell us more about this, which we're going to dig into real soon.
Can't wait. Well, thank you so much. So, Cassandra, let's begin by sharing with our audience what we're diving into at Speakeasy this week. We are going to be talking about adaptability and change, like changing the name of your company. Just in case it comes up. I don't know if I've mentioned it yet. And we're going to talk about how leaders navigate change, how they stay grounded when things feel uncertain, and actually help their teams to move with change instead of resisting it.
Oh, that's so good. Change is tricky, and I deal with that a lot as a boldness coach. It's a big part of my work. So we're going to get into how adaptability is more than just reacting in the moment. It's actually shaping the environment around you so that change feels possible and not painful. Because let's be honest, most people don't resist change, the process of it. They resist how the change is actually done, the actions that are required to make the change. So, why don't you kick things off for us, Ewan, by sharing who we are for anyone that might be joining us for the very first time at our Speakeasy.
I think I shall do that. Thank you so much, Cassandra. Well, welcome everyone to Sparks Squared Speakeasy, the leadership conversation you were not meant to overhear, served up like a casual pub chat for leaders. I am Ewan, and I am the founder of Dramatic Pause. Figure Learning for the very first time on Spark Squared Speakeasy history. I get to say it. I am the founder of Figure Learning, where we make workplace learning, well, work. And I am here with the fabulous, iridescent? No, that's not right.
That works for me.
The most phenomenal Cassandra Sparks.
Thanks, Ewan. You're such a great hype man.
I try my best.
My name is Cassandra Sparks. I am your go-to gal for sparking authentic motivation and bold AF moves. Folks, pull up a chair. This is honest talk about leadership in real life. Let's get into it. The Speakeasy doors are open. I've got my bold take ready, so let's go and talk about navigating change.
Let's do it. But before we do, last week, the Leadership Challenge was all about trying a small experiment in creative leadership.
Yes.
So let's talk about what we did to meet our own Friday Courage Challenge. Can I start with mine?
Please.
Okay, well, I have really been thinking about how we can stay creative as a team at Figure Learning. And one of the parts of our business at Figure is how we create really cool, fun, interactive and engaging e-learnings that doesn't make people want to fall asleep or cry at the mere thought of having to click next yet again. And we've been looking for a really cool way to engage a much younger group of service professionals. So I gave my team a challenge. I gave them some space and I asked them to come up with some really cool creative ways to bring a very bland, boring structure, which was just multiple choice questions. We presented some information, answered some questions, click next, yawn. I got them to come up with some really cool creative ideas. So they did, and we had a brainstorming session. They came with all their ideas, and we landed on one of them that we thought would work for this particular client, which is this really cool gamified learning experience. They have to collect challenge badges along the way. They really have to like show they're actually learning in order to keep them engaged so they can get their badge. At the end, there's prizes as well. So the client offers like really cool incentive prizes for those people on the leaderboard in their team, which is pretty cool. So we have not only got a really great learning experience out of it for one of our clients, but in the process of brainstorming, we have this amazing new bank of library ideas that we can tap into in the future. And we can't wait to do that with some of our other clients. So that was what we did this week, to be creative in our leadership.
Wow. That's a big, phenomenal task that y'all accomplished. Created a whole new game to make learning fun and engaging. It sounds like Candyland, but way better.
Candyland, but way better.
Yeah, do you remember the game Candyland?
Was it like Candy Crush?
No. I don't think so. Candyland is a board game from my youth where you had, you like worked around this path, kind of like the Game of Life or Sorry. You worked around and there were like mountains of marshmallows that you had to cross and different candy-like obstacles.
This has been made into a movie. Or
I don't know. What a good question.
It's got to be a movie of that. I feel like they made a movie of everything else. They made a movie of Mousetrap, didn't they?
They did, and Sonic the Hedgehog, and like Lego movies, and all these things, right?
And do you know what? And I will say, I'm not a child's game being turned into a movie fan, and anyone that knows me will also know that I'm also just not a movie fan. And I just think I could pay much more money at a spa to have a much more relaxing nap. I'm really sorry to all the creatives in the world that are now shouting at the screen going, but this is my life, this is my work. Anyway, I don't know what I was saying, but it was something about games, and yeah, I'm not a massive fan of those like games being turned into movies. However, I was with cousins, much younger cousins, and they were watching the Lego movie.
Yeah.
It was hilarious.
Oh, good.
Really funny. Like one of the Lego movies, they've made hundreds of them now, but like one of the Lego movies, it was really funny. Like belly achingly funny. Yeah.
That's wonderful. I appreciate
There's going to be so
when
many people screaming at this podcast.
No. I don't think so, because I feel like I appreciate when the folks that make movies that are geared maybe toward children weave adult humor in, knowing that there's going to be adults present and watching and you know, like, so they don't dread sitting through this experience. They're like, this is awesome. I think that's a wonderful strategy. Yeah.
So creative
well
as well.
Done, movie
and
makers.
It's a good way of thinking about your audience, because you know that really happy parents, happy kids, happy parents. So. Totally. Anyway.
Yes.
What did you get up to? What was your courage challenge solution?
Sure. Way to think creatively. So for me, it was a little bit of outside the box, stretching my boundaries thinking. Solopreneurship can be very lonely. And I've been working from home in a teeny little space for a long time, over a year, in a small space. And I'm such a, social person, really vibrant, and get energy from connecting with other folks. So I was like, where
Some people
can
might
I
say,
go?
Cassandra, that you are bold.
Most people would say that. So, you could go to a coffee shop, sure, that's all great. But you inspired this, because you and I met up at this wonderful spot called Switch Yards.
Woo! And shout out to Switch Yards.
Shout out to Switch Yards. And it was the first time I'd been there. And I was like, this is really cool. And then we had a great time there. And I hadn't thought much about it since, our last time there. But then I was like, you know what? Let me just kind kind of dig into this again. So I remember texting you being like, all right, what's the deal here? And you gave me some inside information, and then decided that I wanted to try out a membership at this Switchyards Club here in Charleston. And it has been wonderful because it gets me out of my home. It gets me into a different space energetically where there's other creatives and entrepreneurs and business folks of all different industries kind of coming together. And sometimes you chat with folks and sometimes you don't, but the opportunity is there, and I'm all about building connection and community. So that for me was a really great way to keep my motivation up and to keep me fueling moving forward.
Well, I'm so happy that you made the leap and are now part of hashtag Club Yards. We love it. The Figure team are at Yards a lot. We spend at least 1 or 2 days a week there together, me and Laura. And I don't know, there's something about, as somebody who's worked from home or worked remotely or works in traveling roles for well over a decade,
right?
There is something about just being around other people. It doesn't matter if you don't talk to those other people. It doesn't even matter if you make eye contact with those other people. The fact that you are just there in a collective, focused space, which it helps. It's really quirky and it's really cool and it's very vibey. And you know what I love the most about Switchyards? And this is not a promoted advert for them at all. No. However, Switchyards, we love you.
Yeah, DM us.
If there's any chance of any sort of sponsorship, we'll take it. We will literally take all your money, or just a little bit. But anyway, what I love about Switchyards the most is the music is so eclectic.
Yes.
You'll be sitting there at like ridiculous o'clock in the morning, 24 hours, 7 days a week, free coffee, and at 4:30 in the morning, you're listening to some sort of like Turkish, like gorgeous piece of like panpipe, funky jazz, eclectic mix mash of music, sipping your coffee thinking, where am I? Oh, I'm in downtown Savannah. But you feel like you're in the middle of this gorgeous Middle Eastern souk. Anyway, I love it. I'm so happy that you made the leap and jumped into Switchyards. It is definitely one of the best things that I think I ever did, was having that space. And I've been doing it for probably 6 months, maybe a little bit more now. I have met some really cool people, and there are some really cool people that like we now are at a position where we're able to say hello to each other, or we maybe even able to say, how's your day going? It feels so good. Right.
Connection.
At the coffee machine.
Yes.
Connection.
That's
amazing.
God,
other humans.
I know.
Well, anyway, Cassandra Sports, we have waffled and fluffed all the way to the end of this segment, and we still have another segment to go with only 10 minutes left. So let's do this.
Yes. All right. So at the end of this chat, we're going to pose this week's Friday challenge. So stick around. Yes. Let's talk about navigating change. Ewan, you are the king of that this week. Usually I'm the queen of navigating change in my role as boldness coach. However, the crown goes to you, sir. And you are, you are owning it.
Less a crown and more a tiara, Cassandra.
Amazing.
But so long as it sparkles, I will wear it.
It has to sparkle. You know it does. So it's your turn to wear it. Tell us about how you navigated change this, not just this week, because it's been a build up for you, but tell us about your journey.
Sure. I mean, I feel like this week has definitely been a week. It's been a week. I feel like I've just caught up on my sleep, but only just. Well, as you may or may not know, anyone that's got this far in the podcast will have heard that we've rebranded. So we used to be the Bright Spark Group. And I think the easiest way to explain this is just to be honest. And we went through over the past 6 months so many different iterations of how do we communicate this, how do we talk about the change, how do we make sure that people understand the change but get on board with the change. And then I realized, why are we making this complicated? Just go back to basics and be honest. And that's all. That is essentially our method for how we're communicating this change to everybody.
That's beautiful. So what I hear you say is simplicity and change are important when it comes to like putting them together. Keep going.
Completely.
I love it.
No, yeah, 100%. I think that when we first got faced with the dilemma of having to say goodbye and mourn the death of the Bright Spark group, we kind of got over the grieving process and started to really think about what's next and why is it happening the way it's happening. So just so everybody knows, we had to change the name of our company for a simple reason. We couldn't trademark the Bright Spark group. Bright Spark is apparently the most generic name in the world. Who knew? Apparently not ChatGPT when he told me that should be the name of my company a year and a half, 2 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway.
Thanks a lot, George.
So here we are, stuck with a dead name and having to think of a new one. And I really had a bit of an existential crisis around what the future was going to look like, because I had put everything into making the Bright Spark group. The Bright Spark group, it felt right. We were bright, we were sparky, all the things. I mean, there was us as well.
Spark
We
squared.
were Sparks squared. Anyway, so the way that we decided to approach it was simple. We tell people that exact story because everybody can relate to that. Like, well, that makes sense. And people are able to kind of, in their head, readjust and rationalize and then approach the next step with a grounding of what the reality is. So we came up with Figgery. It's a very long journey, and it does mean something for those that are wondering, why the heck did you go from Bright Spark to Figgery? A few reasons. The first reason is that our attorney told us that it should be something that's completely made up, and Figgery at that point we thought was completely made up. Shout out to Jamie, who is my brother over in Scotland. When he was a little toddler, he used to call things that were not quite right Figgery. Like, ooh, that's a little bit Figgery. Remember the TV when you were a kid? And it would go all like that snowy way if the antenna wasn't quite right. And you'd end up hanging out of your window with the antenna trying to watch Friends.
Yes.
Do you remember that? Like,
I do. Yes.
Like, look how far we've come. Anyway, that was Figgery. The TV was Figgery. Anyhow, here we are 20-something years later looking for a made-up word, and it felt perfect. It kind of spoke to our brand. We did Google it. We did our due diligence before we sent it to the attorney. All looked good. They told us to change the spelling, so we did. We Googled that new spelling of Figgery, and we found out that it's really a word. And the word is defined as whimsical, eccentric, and a little bit impulsive. Right?
Perfection.
For those that are not watching and are listening, the look of shock on Cassandra Sparks' face is exactly what I had when I was staring at the screen going, this has been a word all along. My brother, as a toddler, maybe not as an adult, but as a toddler, genius.
Oh my
Jamie, I'm
gosh.
joking, you're a
And
genius.
so well suited.
Right, perfect. It couldn't have been better. So there we go. Not only did we simplify our why, but then we came up, without even knowing it, with our hook, with our thing that captured the imagination. So here we are. So as we journeyed through that experience of like thinking about how we're going to, what is Figgery going to look like when it comes to life? Like, what's the colors? What's the vibe? What's the energy? We realized that that's what it should be. It should be impulsive, a bit eccentric, a bit whimsical, something that catches the eye, catches the attention.
Yes.
So that's who Figgery is. We have definitely, and I would like to, a lot of shout outs here. Shout out to Louise, my mother, who is an artist to trade, very, very creative. She came up with the fact that we should definitely lean into the fig thing. She was like, you should have your branding when you rebrand as we've been fig-ing things out.
Yeah.
I was like, that's genius. And because I have got the mouth of a sailor, I was like, we should use this.
Yes.
Yeah, right. That's why we love each other.
It's
you should
true.
hear how we chat outside of the podcast. One day we're going to do like a speakeasy after hours.
Oh yeah, that'll be rich. That'll be
yeah.
oof, that'll be fun.
So we've been really leaning into the fig puns. So we have a lot of fig-based puns, like we give a fig, We also like the fig that and the fig yes. So you're going to see a lot of that coming up in our marketing because that's who we are. And I think that is the key to this whole change thing, is that it is really messy. And messy can be really scary. And sometimes you just have to face into it and take the leap. And I could have gone safe. We could have gone corporate. We could have gone with the nice, clean, sleek. But in reality, it's not who we are. But most importantly, it's not who we want to talk to. I don't want to talk to corporate stuffy. I want to talk to real service professionals, brands that actually just want to deliver service. Like in its raw, beautiful, personable form. And the reality is that people don't speak to each other in a corporate, polished way. Sometimes they say, "What the fig? That was amazing! I love that meal." And we should be teaching the entire world that if that's how people want to speak, speak that way. Match them. Find them there. And then enjoy the connection that you get from having that sort of that same level as each other. So that's where we're at. That's kind of the journey that we went on with our change. It is definitely a massive culture shift for all of us though, because now we're having to navigate through how far do we push it, who do we talk to, who does this connect with, so many things. So,
right. Yeah, it's not just a graphic change or a name change. It's finding, like you say, the right people. It's communicating your brand and your messaging clearly and consistently. And what I think I heard most, what resonated with me most in what you were discussing is the idea of remaining authentic to who you and your team are and what you want to represent, and doing so boldly. I mean, give a fig. I remember when you unveiled that, I was in the chat just gleefully typing, like, I'm obsessed with these puns. This is amazing. And in my business, I say bold AF. That's a cornerstone of how I talk about being bold. Bold as fuck. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Bold as fuck. And that's because it's real and it's raw and it's authentic. And when we talk about navigating change, you need to tap into that level of power, of boldness, of just being like gritty and raw with it. And you did that with your team. And I'm just so proud of you and excited for what's to come. And the fact that you're rooted in authenticity is going to show so purely in your brand as you work with folks. And it's just going to draw people to you like a magnet.
That is definitely the hope. And that is, I think, what's drawn us together to partner with each other in the ways that we do, because I truly believe at my absolute core, and that core is a service professional through and through, that this is how people talk. So why are you talking to them in any other way? It's not about being rude or abrasive or offensive. It's about just talking to people like they're human beings, not like they're a porcelain doll that might be broken, like they're a real human. Because if you go to the break room, if you go to the taxi rank, if you go wherever you go to see the people you're trying to communicate with in their real life, they are not speaking in any other way than this way. So it's not about being rude. It's about giving people the space that where if they find it offensive or they don't want to, that's fine. They can say fig. But the reality is that most people that we're working with, they aren't, and that's okay.
Yeah.
And I have one last thing, and I think we're totally off the topic of change, but there's one other thing around kind of the positioning of how we brand and how we've kind of navigated the messaging of it. whenever we talk to new clients, whenever I'm on a business development call with a potential new client, I am forever saying that we will always at Figure 8 meet your people where they're at and then train them to where you want them to be, not the other way around. And what a lot of people say is that, or a lot of training companies do, is they come in and they train people at this level up here, way above their heads, way in a totally different planet that they have no connection or understanding of, expecting them down here to come up and meet them. But what you actually do is you fail to understand the reality of this individual. They're not below you. It's just that they've not quite understood what's up here and what the benefits and what might come from teaching themselves to deliver in a certain way. Yes. So it's not about not delivering a polished, elevated, beautiful style of service or style of leadership. It's about helping people to understand the benefit of doing it. But in order to be able to get them to even listen to you in the first place, go to them, meet them, find their place, find who they are, find what makes them tick, find what makes them laugh, find what makes them happy, because it's in that place that we learn, not in a place of fear. And that's where I think a lot of training companies fall down, is that they come in trying to teach above the place that everybody's at. And it's not to say that people are, there is better and worse. There's not. There's just reality. And you've just got to find people at their reality. Be brave enough as a facilitator or a trainer or a leader or a colleague to go down and meet people and be a part of the team. Roll your sleeves up. Understand. Live it. Breathe it. That's where I will, to my dying day, believe that that's the way we should train.
I agree. And I find the same pattern as being essential in my Glow Up Your Communication coaching program, where I help folks shine on any stage. And part of that conversation is shine on any stage without adopting an alter ego.
Love that.
To the same vein of, I meet folks where they're at. I'm not trying to make them into a version of me. No, that's not the point of making someone a more confident, bold speaker. It's to get them, for that unique individual, how can we make them shine? How can we make them glow to their brightest capability? So yes, I agree with you completely in that regard. It's so powerful to meet people where they are. And that is adaptability right there. As a business owner, as the trainer, as a facilitator, it takes adaptability because every client is at a different spot.
Absolutely. I really love that thing that you just said there around not making them a version of me. I think that is so important for trainers and leaders and anybody who might have a place of almost the ability to influence others in any way.
Yes.
I don't want to say power, but if you're in a position of influence, then making sure that you are doing it with the individual's best interest in mind, rather than with yours. So when we're training something like coaching, for example, in our Spark program, instead of us thinking about how do I benefit from you changing your behavior as a leader, think about how do they benefit from them changing their behavior. And you as a leader just get the opportunity to be able to bask in the glory of having allowed somebody else to succeed. When we reframe our position and our purpose, instead of it being about how do I benefit, think about it about how do I help them to benefit from this. It changes the tenor, it changes the dynamic of the training or the conversation or the interaction or even the relationship.
It's so true.
I love this. I don't think we've really talked much about change, but I really have loved this conversation. I think
let's do like change part 2 next week and we can dive deeper.
Yeah, perfect. There we go. I love that.
I think this week I really wanted to celebrate the incredible work that you and your team have done in rolling out officially your new brand of Figure Learning. And it's so exciting. And I know you've probably felt every emotion that there is, as one does when they go through the process of change. And you've done it with grace. Yeah, you've done it with grace and such empathy and care for yourself. You have, and
Pause
for
a
yourself
second. Do I
and
do
for your
anything
team.
with grace?
You do. You do.
I'm not sure that graceful is one of the words that I would ever use to attribute to myself, but I'll take it. I will take it and I will chalk it up. I'll put it on the calendar as this was the day that Ewan was once called graceful.
Jot it down.
Well, I appreciate you, and I appreciate you being along for the ride and being part of the journey, and I really appreciate the partnership, because I said it on my live stream, which I was very nervous about.
But, you did so good.
Which is unlike me as a public speaker professionally, but this was so filled with personal meaning. It was a weird experience. But yeah, I said it on the live stream, and I'll say it again. I couldn't have got to this point to just rebrand without people like you and people like my clients, our fantastic partners that are all over the place, the US and the UK. It really has been a journey, and we are so happy to be on that journey. And Figure is just the newest chapter of the big story, and it will continue. We've got some exciting things happening this year. I'm so excited that you're going to be a part of many of them, and I'm really excited to launch our new products. We've got some really cool new training products that we're going to be launching this year under Figure. So yeah, yes. I will not bore the Spark Square Speakeasy audience with it all the time, but I'm definitely going to give it a plug.
There's nothing boring about Figure learning. Isn't that the whole thing about Figure?
Well, that's true. There's nothing boring about Figure ever.
Ever.
Because
you give a fig.
Is, not the problem. The thing is, we give a fig. Hey-oh! There we go. Fantastic. Hey-oh. Well, I love this conversation, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to share with our audience that we have officially switched over and changed. So thank you very, very,
we most
very
certainly
much.
Have.
Shall we wrap up with our
here for it.
Courage Challenge?
Yes, so for this week, I got this. For this week, here's the challenge. When we talk about change, identify one change that's happening around you. And instead of just pushing and barreling through it without thinking, pause and ask either yourself or your team, what feels unclear or challenging about this change right now? And then listen. Either listen to your team's feedback or listen to yourself, your gut, and your brain and your heart. And don't defend, don't fix, just take it in. Because those obstacles, whatever hurdle you might be experiencing with change, is something that can be overcome only once it's understood. I'm going to mic drop that. That was great.
Yeah. That was a hell yeah moment. Can I get a hell yeah?
Hell yeah!
We needed one. I mean, we couldn't go through an entire podcast without one.
Well, thank goodness.
Adaptability start. Yes, right. I'm glad there was one moment. That's good. Adaptability starts with awareness and then moves into action. And if that conversation feels a little uncomfortable, good. That's where trust and real change begins.
So if folks, you want to find out more about how I empower teams and individuals to unleash their hidden firepower and live boldly and authentically, follow me on my socials. I'm at Cassandra Sparks, YOU, on all the socials. Ewan, how can people find you and Figure?
Well, I appreciate you asking that, Cassandra, as I would like to now plug all of our brand new social media channels.
Yay!
If you want to take your workplace learning from a fig that to a fig yeah, then please follow Figure Learning on all the socials. We are there. We are just ready to be followed. And if you're looking for some inspirational, insightful, service-based leadership inspo, then please feel free to follow me, Ewan Riccio-Liang, Riccio-Liang, on all the socials as well. And as of next week, my feed will be filled with fun leadership content.
That's exciting. I mean, I'm thrilled to see it all come through my feed. And let's also not forget our very own fun shop, Own the Room, Tell Your Story, where we help you as leaders build presence, confidence, and storytelling that actually lands. Friends, if this conversation sparks something for you, if you're feeling the figs, all the figs, if you're giving the figs, then share this with someone who needs a seat at our Speakeasy table. We will see you.
I'm going to be using, so I'm so sorry. I'm just going to throw in we've got a new pun, everybody. We're now going to be using Figgery Learning, feel your figs.
Oh, I'm swooning. On that note, we'll see you here next Friday. Same Speakeasy, same spark, all the figs.
All the figs. Have a great day, everybody. Happy weekend. I think we all need
Bye-bye.
it. I do. Bye.